2 years ago, the Oklahoma City Thunder finished with a record of 40-42, which allowed them to claw into the play-in tournament as the 10th seed. But after adding Chet Holmgren to the lineup in the following season, OKC jumped up to the number 1 seed in the West. And obviously Holmgren's presence on both sides of the ball played a major factor in OKC taking a major jump forward. And what should be terrifying for the rest of the NBA is that Chet this year got way better. Now, in the Thunder's offense last year, Chet's role was pretty straightforward. He did most of his work either rolling towards the basket or popping out behind the line for threes. And with the amount of individual talent that OKC already had, this by itself provided plenty of scoring. And Chet was easily able to rack up buckets off the gravity of his teammates. But when looking at Chet's film from this year, he's clearly added more depth to his individual scoring game. The first thing we can look at is his play in transition, where Chet has both the ball and body control to attack the backpedaling defense and stride out into finishes. And this kind of control is crazy for a player his size. We'll see him again here pushing the ball, and watch him slice through these two defenders by gathering the ball up, to then use these two long strides to extend to the rim. OKC also likes to set these quick ball screens for Chet going towards the baseline, where he then has the entire side of the floor to attack a mismatch one-on-one. We'll see Holmgren here working off the screen to his right. Then notice how he drops his level and gets his shoulder all the way down into Trae Young's chest, to then drive through his frame and draw this foul. Chet's improvements off the dribble also carry over to his game in the half court, where he's got the first step to dust slower footed bigs on the perimeter, plus the ability to leverage his spot-up shooting and attack closeouts off the catch. And then if the defense is able to slide and cut off his initial drive, Chet does have some good counters in his bag. Watch him initially catch and attack hard to his right, to then hit this quick spin back over to his left. I also think Holmgren has really improved his patience with the ball, where he's now able to keep his dribble alive to then set up different attacking angles. MPJ here initially does a good job of keeping his chest in front of the ball, but watch how Chet's going to briefly back out to then re-attack with this crossover back to his left hand. And he again drops that inside shoulder to protect the ball, creating a window to pick up and finish. This is a pretty tough move right here, where Chet's going to catch in transition, and he feels Nikola Jokic aggressively shifting out. So Holmgren's going to hit a nice hezzy by skipping off his right foot and lifting his chest up, to then replant that foot and explode to the rim.
Thunder in front, just over 2 minutes gone by here in the third.
And then what also makes Chet really hard to deal with off the bounce is that he also has that pull-up in his back pocket. So if his man is sagged back and overplaying his drive, Chet can simply rise up into that open space. Now, while Chet has made some big improvements to his game off the dribble, there's still times where he exposes the ball off the bounce. And this is one of the downsides to being a 7-foot ball handler. Because Chet naturally towers over smaller defenders, there's lots of room for the defense to step in and make plays on the ball. When attacking downhill, I also think Holmgren has some room for improvement with his strength. He may have the skill and quickness to initially get his man on his hip, but then he calmly allows the defense to push him out into more difficult looks. We'll see him here catch and rip past Nikola Vucevic, but as Chet gets him on his hip, Vuce is able to nudge him out into this more difficult extended out finish. So because Holmgren lacks the strength to consistently bulldoze towards the basket, he calmly gets pushed out into these difficult contested in-between pull-ups, which may not always be bad shots for him, but I'm pretty sure that OKC as a team would like to generate better looks. But to his credit, Chet does have a good basketball IQ, and for the most part, he's limited these standstill ISO possessions. I love this play right here, where Chet's going to catch on the short roll, and he first tries to attack with a shot fake and drive. But when this gets walled off, instead of forcing up a tough shot, Holmgren keeps the ball in motion by tossing it back out and getting into another ball screen with Jalen Williams, to then get this and one rolling towards the basket. We can see him make a similar read here, where Chet's going to catch and attack towards the middle, and again, instead of forcing up a difficult 2 in traffic, he pitches the ball back out to J-Dub, who now has a closeout to attack. And this is now a good time to transition and talk about Holmgren's passing. On top of making those unselfish and high IQ plays, I also think Chet has gotten much better at making quick decisions in the paint. where he's great at weaponizing his mid-range and rim scoring to pull multiple defenders towards him, opening up these dimes for his teammates. We'll see him here get this outside driving angle on Porter, and that pull-up threat forces Jokic to step up, opening up this backside cut for Dort. The Thunder have also been using Chet as a passing hub on the perimeter, where his shooting threat pulls the opposing team's big out of the paint, clearing up the rim for backdoor cuts. So as an on-ball scorer and decision maker, I think Holmgren has improved every part of his game. He's more comfortable pushing the ball in transition to attack matchups. He's added more depth to his slashing game in the half court. Plus he's also making really good reads in the flow of the game by effectively picking his spots without stopping the ball and taking away juice from OKC's other stars. And then on top of all that, Chet is still an elite role man who can also pop out behind the line and drain threes. I think Chet's style of play is perfect for the Thunder system. He can easily average over 20 points per game without being a high usage player. Now what's even more scary for the rest of the NBA is that Chet's offense might not even be the best part of his game. So far this year, Holmgren is making a strong case for being the best rim protector in the NBA. Obviously his height and length by itself is more than enough to make him a good presence around the basket, but Chet also has really good timing on the floor by always extending and meeting the offense on the way up. You'll see MPJ here working off his cross screen, and as he curls, notice how Chet is going to elevate off the floor at the exact same time as him, and once Holmgren extends up like this, there's no way of getting this finish around him. Chet also has really underrated mobility for his size, where he's great at quickly covering ground on the floor to then meet the offense at the rim. We'll see him here initially get beat as his man fakes his handoff, but watch how smoothly Holmgren is going to swivel his hips to then scramble back down and take away this reverse layup. This play here is pretty crazy, where the Spurs are going to set these stagger screens, and Holmgren is going to initially switch out onto this top man. But as Wembanyama slips towards the basket, Holmgren is going to teleport from the free throw line to break up the lob, to then turn and rotate back out and take away another finish at the rim. And that blend of size and mobility also makes Chet a monster drop defender, where he's both able to stay in front of the ball to then recover back to the screener. Now these were things we saw Chet effectively do last year. Before his arrival, OKC had one of the worst paint defenses in the NBA, but by just inserting him into the lineup, he's now the backbone to one of the best overall defenses in the league. And similar to his offense, Chet has also made some big individual improvements. So far this year, the first thing that stands out to me is his strength and stability. In the opening night against Denver, I thought Holmgren played some elite one-on-one defense against Jokic, where he was able to hold his ground against contact to then extend up and alter shot. Watch him here slide and keep his chest in front to then absorb these shoulder bumps. And even after Jokic slightly knocks him back, Chet still has the reach to extend out and bother this finish. This is also a great clip here, where Jokic again is going to try to initiate contact, then turn his elbow to carve out an angle, but Chet still steps through and is right in his face on the shot. Holmgren's improved strength also upgrades his defense off the ball, where he's now able to make his man work for post position, plus fight all the way through contact to get steals. And simply put, these were not plays Holmgren was making last year.
Holmgren knock away.
So for being just 22 and starting his second NBA season, I think Chet Holmgren is on pace to be a superstar. He's already in the conversation for one of the best defenders in the league, plus he's finding ways to be productive with a stacked roster offensively. And what's also crazy is that I think Chet can still improve even more as a player. But for right now, I think he gives the Thunder everything they need. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments who the kids should break down next. The kids here.